Supporters and opponents of same-sex marriage are expected to show up at the supervisors' meeting as well. That's according to the Bakersfield Californian. The board has no plan to take action on gay marriage, and the issue isn't on Tuesday's agenda. But the paper reports residents are expected to go to the meeting to talk about last week's state Supreme Court decision. That decision will allow gay marriages in Kern County starting this Sunday. Also, Supervisor Don Mabin will address Kern County Auditor Controller Ann Barnett's decision to end all civil marriage ceremonies performed by the county. And the topic of gay marriage here in Kern County has been a hot-button issue recently. Kern County's County Clerk Ann Barnett dropped all marriage ceremonies in response to the ruling. And joining us this morning, gay rights activist Whitney Waddell, joining me to talk about the response from the gay community. Whitney, we should also take note that repeated attempts to contact and invite County Counsel Bernard Barman and County Clerk Ann Barnett, those calls to those two people were not returned. So they decided not to join us this morning. So Whitney Waddell, let's talk about this. What do you think about that decision last week by the county clerk to stop all weddings, heterosexual, homosexual, at the county clerk's office?
Well, you know, she said it was for budget cuts and security concerns, and apparently she expects to be inundated with numerous couples requesting these ceremonies. And I think it's a real shame that she canceled ceremonies on people who had already planned them. But as far as I know, no one in the gay community has contacted me and said, you know, they were planning on having a ceremony with the county clerk. So it would appear that the only people who really suffered as a result of her decision were straight couples who already had appointments.
Well, in our 17 feedback poll last week, the viewers who responded, and I believe there were over 800 who responded, said that they did not believe that security and budget problems were the issue. This is gaining national attention. You just mentioned that the report that 17 News did trying to contact County Clerk Ann Barnett last week is actually on YouTube.
Well, yes, and I think that, I mean, this is where the story apparently blew up. You know, there are people going to be married all over the state of California on June 17th, some of them on June 16th. And, you know, I mean, people getting married in San Francisco was a big story in 2004, but now that's just sort of, you expect that. Here is where there's been controversy, and so, of course, all the news medias are going to pick that up.
Are supporters of marriage for same-sex couples planning to be at the supervisors' meeting tomorrow?
Well, not in such an organized fashion as you might have suggested. I was going to go and talk to the Board of Supervisors. I suspect they're going to get some pressure by an organized element of conservatives to suggest that they do something that might perhaps be illegal. And I think that it's important for our Board of Supervisors to hear from all points of view, and so I'm going to go, and I have invited other folks to join me. It's not like there's going to be thousands of us.
And there could be opponents there as well. We have heard of that. But Whitney, you are planning to get married, though. When is that?
On June 17th. I have an 8:30 appointment, and I can hardly wait. It's very exciting.
Well, Whitney Waddell, we appreciate you joining us this morning for 17 News at Sunrise.
Thank you, Rob.
One more fighter has jumped in the ring in the battle over same-sex marriage. And ABC 23's Crystal Figueroa is live in studio to tell us how a high school trustee is rallying up his supporters to stop same-sex marriage in Kern County. Crystal?
Emily, trustee for the Kern High School District, Ken Metler, has sent out an email asking his supporters and everyone they know to show up at the Board of Supervisors meeting tomorrow morning and voice their opposition to gay marriage in the county. Metler is urging everyone to call the respective supervisor and tell him to only give a marriage license to a man and a woman. Metler says 8 years ago, Kern County voted to protect marriage and now wants the democratic process to be respected. Earlier this month, the county clerk's office said it will no longer solemnize any weddings after June 13th due to staff shortages and space issues. They will, however, start issuing same-sex marriage licenses on June 17th, along with other counties across the state. The Board of Supervisors will meet tomorrow morning starting at 9 a.m. at the Kern County Administrative Building on Truxton Avenue. A constitutional amendment that would define marriage between a man and a woman is slated to appear on the November ballot. Voters across the state will then decide on that amendment. It is uncertain what will happen to same-sex marriages if that proposition is approved. And, of course, we're going to keep you updated. In studio, I'm Crystal Figueroa for ABC 23.
Two hot topics planned to go before the County Board of Supervisors. Tomorrow, the board tackles the heated battle over gay marriage and how best to get the upper hand on the growing animal population. First, County Supervisor Don Mabin will address County Auditor Controller Ann Barnett's decision to stop civil marriage ceremonies performed by the county, a choice some believe made in an apparent attempt to avoid same-sex marriage. The board is not expected to take any sort of action on the issue, but there is expected to be plenty of public comment over last week's decision to legalize gay marriage in the state.